We have our How to Live showcase, some tips on how to balance that business and our own personal well-being, sort of along the lines, maybe, we'll see, our presenter's content. Maybe I should call him our resident balloon expert. I referred to Dr. Dan. But Thad James, take it away for our next Live showcase.
Why, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's see, share. After two of the most charismatic and intelligent presenters that E3 has, we're gonna go with me. So anyway, today I want to talk to you about the yes and mindset. This is a mindset that will help you deal with customers in a way that they will think that they are, not that they think, that they will actually become involved in the solutions to their own problems, and you can help them understand that your solutions are the right ones, but not in a way that will confront them with their ideas. It's an amazing concept that I think works very well and has helped me to not only grow my business with new clients, but to expand the projects that I've been able to book and to contract. There are some fallacies out there that are long-lived in regard to customers and customer service. The customer's always right. Give them what they want, no matter what it takes. Put the customer's needs first, above anything and everything. And then bend over backwards to keep every single client. These are fallacies because they're not at all correct. If you believe that the customer is always right and you're doing everything to bend over backwards for every single customer, you're going to give abrasive customers the advantage over good customers. You're going to spend so much time with customers who are argumentative or pushy or demanding, and you're not going to be able to spend the time with the good customers who are really going to help you grow your business. Honestly, some customers are bad for business. And if you've listened to Dale Furtwängler often enough, anyone who's not like-minded or shares the common values that you share is going to contradict your beliefs. And it's going to be very difficult to work with them. They're going to want things from you that you either can't provide or that you're going to have to go way out of your way to provide. And that's not conducive to a positive business relationship, and it's not conducive to your business growth. And honestly, clients can be wrong, and we all know that, but you don't want to just come out and tell them that they're wrong. That's not a good way to go about it, certainly. When you're dealing with customers, you're not simply fulfilling their requests. Sometimes they ask for things that can't be fulfilled. They can't be done. They're not within your wheelhouse. They're not with what your offerings. They may be asking for products or solutions that you just don't offer. If they may want something that doesn't truly solve their problems. You're the expert in the solutions that you have to offer. They may be asking for something that's not going to fix the problem that they've expressed. You're providing the best solution. You know that. It's how to get them to understand it. Now, certainly when a customer comes to you with a problem, you don't just simply have a quick fix answer. You want to have a conversation with your clients because you want to understand the full nature of not only their problems, but also the possible solutions they've tried in the past. What hasn't worked before? Why do they think that the issue they have is the real issue? It may be something completely different. Those conversations will not only allow your customer to feel that you are trying to understand their issues and relate to them, but it also gives them the confidence to trust you with the fact that you're listening to them. They'll be able to list their headaches. They'll be able to rant about their frustrations. They can talk about what they've tried before and who they've tried it with and what didn't go right and what they wanted to see out of that possible solution. That conversation will help build a trust that your customer is being listened to and is going to be helped by you. The one word that will really stop a conversation is but. If they ask you for a solution, if they come up with a solution or a possibility and you say, yeah, but, that stifles the conversation right away. It puts the customer on the defensive, and it shuts them down. Things like, yes, but that hasn't worked before, and yes, but they won't let us do that, and yeah, but we never see that kind of thing work. That shuts down the customer and provides a negative attitude to the conversation. It interrupts the positive mindset that you're trying to build through a conversation. A great way to handle these situations is yes and. Yes and builds a positive conversation. And the components of yes and are simple. Yes and. Saying yes does not mean you're agreeing with what the customer is saying. It acknowledges the statement they've just made. It lets them know that they've been heard and that you're listening to them. Yes, I hear what you're saying. Yes, I understand that that's an issue. Adding and allows the introduction of new ideas and proposals, and can be a bridge to something else. It doesn't stop the conversation, it continues the conversation. Yes and comes from the improv theater world. Many of you have seen improvisational television shows. These shows are actually come from exercises that actors and comedians do. Amazingly, this used to be an exercise that these people would pay for. Now they get paid to do it. There are improv groups in St. Louis that will come to your party or event and do these exercises for money. They get paid to do these things now. One of the best exercises is the yes and game. Whatever the previous person says, you must agree with, say yes, then and you build on that idea. So if somebody says, my Aunt Sally rode a bicycle, you say, yes, and she had an elephant on her shoulder. The next person has to go with, yes, and the elephant had a tutu on. Whatever the other person said, you say yes, and you have to build on that idea. It is a positive idea building technique that can be easily used with your customers and clients. If you're positive and uplifting in your conversation, the customer will then start adding and accepting suggestions. This does force you and allows you to take risks with the client's mindset. It's not a simple matter of, I have a problem, I have a solution, done. It's a conversation builder that helps promote ideas and suggestions with the client. And it really comes down to collaboration versus confrontation. Yes and is not about saying yes to everything. It is acknowledging that you're hearing them, like I said before. When you start with yes and restate the idea, much like Dale talked about, it acknowledges that you've heard them. They now feel respected and empowered. When you add and, with the enhancements that you know will work for that solution, they're more apt to listen to you because you've acknowledged their statement and you're adding to the possibilities and you're adding solutions and you get to speak about other things that can work. Um, it can help you improve the project and will steer the client to the best possible outcome without telling the client they're wrong and dumb and don't know what they're talking about, because that will shut anybody down. Try it with your spouse. It's true. You add, and I hear you, and here's something that would work, and this would be a great thing that happens too. So instead of being confrontational, you get to collaborate with the client. Now they're part of the solution. Now they're part of your ideas, and they feel better about themselves and don't feel that you're just coming in and telling them what to do because you're the best person ever. And that leads into letting go and removing your ego from the conversation. Because we all know that we are the experts in what we do. And we know that we know the most and we have the most knowledge and we're the best. That's great. And that's wonderful to say in front of your mirror in the morning. Don't come into your client's meeting with that attitude. You will put them off and you can easily upset them and they can turn away from you. By saying no or but, you shut them down. It's amazing how people respond when you listen and give their opinions credence. It's a softening mechanism. When you let them express themselves and you come in with a yes and suggestion, you're bringing them into your expertise without you coming in and saying, listen, I know everything. I'll solve all your problems. I know what works. You allow them to be part of the solution, and you don't come in as the overbearing expert. Great example of this in a sales technique. A customer comes in and says, I'm very concerned about delays in delivery times during peak volume times, which is a concern. If you come in with a but response, saying something like, yeah, but we always deliver as quickly as possible. Well, you've shut down their concern. You've relegated it to not being very important. And you're the expert, so you know the point is that you guys are going to deliver as fast as possible. It really shuts down their concerns and doesn't give them the opportunity to express themselves. But if you say yes, and that is a real concern, and delivery times are an important part of our service, and we have procedures to expedite shipments, and we have checkpoints along the way for customers to monitor the progress. Yes, and yes, you have a real concern, and we have some solutions that can help you out. Yes, and has been something for my business that has been phenomenal. And there's a few people in this group that know that I've talked about this several times. When a client comes to me with a suggestion, I want to give yes, and there's more that's possible. Several years ago, the St. Louis Home and Garden Show called me. They had seen some of my pictures posted on Facebook and the like, and they saw these beautiful flower bouquets. And they called me up and said, hey, we'd love to have these flower bouquets placed around the Home and Garden Show so people can see these very unique balloon flowers. We think they're wonderful, but we'd like for people to see them. And I said, yes, those flower bouquets are beautiful. And they could really add a lot to your Home and Garden Show. And we can do even more than just these simple flower bouquets. They said, you can do more. I said, well, yes. And we can build something that nobody's ever seen before. And that piqued their interest. So what we did is we proposed a balloon garden. I proposed to them that we would have a walk-through balloon garden landscape, much like the landscaping installations they had there from landscaping companies with patios and fireplaces and all sorts of things. I said, we'll build one of those completely out of balloons. And they said, what? I said, yes. And we can have a fountain in the middle and we can have a wishing well, and we can have a pond, and we can have hundreds and hundreds of flowers. They were intrigued. So we took their idea of a small scale project and turned it into this amazing, overwhelming project. We built a 600 square foot balloon garden for the St. Louis Home and Garden Show. That year, Tulsa, Oklahoma Home and Garden Show called me and wanted to do the same thing at their Home and Garden Show. This video is from the Tulsa Home and Garden Show, where we were the featured presentation in the center of the auditorium of the expo center, a huge expo center, and we built a balloon garden for the Tulsa Home and Garden Show. This all came from the client's idea of having these simple flower bouquets placed around the Home and Garden Show. But by saying, yes, that's a great idea, and we can do more, and it can be bigger, and it can be better, I was able to build 3 different balloon gardens at 2 different locations for different Home and Garden Shows. It was an amazing process that just simply started with me saying yes and. So the yes and mindset allows you to expand a customer's thinking, avoids butting heads, and discover more about the customer and what their needs truly are. You get to work toward collaborating on a solution, and you can guide the client to a better outcome. By adding and, it increases the possibilities of what you can do for your clients by adding more of what your solutions can be. So now I'll be open to any questions that anybody has.
So I think Dale had a question before we get to him. Les had an interesting comment. He said, interesting discovery by the improv group that developed the yes and method. They found that no because and yes but both shut down the conversation. So very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, because is a very negative conversation point.
Dale, you should be able to unmute as well.
Yeah, I didn't have a question. I had put up a reaction of applause, but apparently it looked like I was raising my hand.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Very good. Lots of positive responses for you, Thad. Thank you.
I think Heidi's wanted you to back up your slide one. I think she was seeing value in that slide. Thank you, Thad, for doing that for Heidi.
Thanks, Glenda.
You're welcome. Wow, 2 small words, yes and oh my goodness, Thad, you fulfilled my expectations of you. You told us about a principle and you had a story to back up how effective it can be. And you never disappoint me. I love, love, love seeing your work with balloons. Oh my goodness, you are truly the balloon artist. So I loved your video. Oh my goodness, you're just incredible what you can do. And that's why at the beginning, when I was bringing you up, I referred to you as our balloon guy. I hope you appreciate that. I mean it in the best possible way. You are absolutely in the St. Louis area. You are the go-to person if you want a fabulous balloon structure, art, greeting, whatever. You are awesome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.